In the world of professional golf, where properness and tradition reign supreme, an unexpected rivalry emerged that would captivate fans and shake up the sport's polished image. This is the story of Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka, two of golf's biggest stars, whose contrasting styles and personalities collided in a feud that transcended the fairways and became a cultural phenomenon. Our tale begins in the late 2010s, as both DeChambeau and Koepka were ascending to the upper echelons of professional golf. Bryson DeChambeau, the eccentric scientist of the greens, burst onto the scene with his unorthodox approach to the game. Known for his single-length irons, analytical mindset, and later his dramatic physical transformation, DeChambeau represented a new breed of golfer, one who sought to revolutionize the sport through science and technology. On the other side of the spectrum stood Brooks Koepka, the epitome of the modern athletic golfer. With his chiseled physique, steely demeanor, and remarkable success in major championships, Koepka embodied the cool, confident image of a dominant force in golf. His no-nonsense approach and ability to elevate his game on the biggest stages made him a formidable presence on tour. At first glance, these two golfers seemed to have a little in common beyond their shared profession. DeChambeau, with his quirky mannerisms and penchant for long-winded explanations of his methods, stood in stark contrast to Koepka's laconic, almost aloof persona. Yet it was precisely these differences that would fuel one of golf's most intriguing and unexpected rivalries. The seeds of conflict were sown gradually, with subtle jabs and passive-aggressive comments exchanged through the media and social platforms. However, it was in 2019 that the tension between DeChambeau and Koepka began to simmer more visibly. At the Northern Trust tournament, DeChambeau's notoriously slow play came under scrutiny, and Koepka, a vocal critic of slow play in general, didn't hesitate to voice his displeasure. In August 2019, Koepka made his stance clear, saying, "I just don't understand how it takes a minute and 20 seconds, a minute and 15 to hit a golf ball. It's not that hard." This comment, while not directly naming DeChambeau, was widely interpreted as a criticism of his methodical approach to the game. DeChambeau, never one to back down from a challenge, responded in January 2020, defending his style of play. "It's actually quite impressive that we're able to get all that stuff done in 45 seconds. People don't realize that it's very difficult to do everything we do in 45 seconds. This exchange marked a turning point in their relationship, as the golf world began to take notice of the growing animosity between the two stars. As 2020 dawned, the rivalry took on new dimensions. DeChambeau, already known for his unique approach to the game, unveiled a dramatically transformed physique. Having gained significant muscle mass during the off-season, he returned to the tour hitting prodigious drives that left fellow competitors and spectators in awe. This physical metamorphosis and the resulting boost in performance thrust DeChambeau further into the spotlight, setting the stage for increased friction with Koepka. The COVID-19 pandemic brought professional golf to a halt for several months, but when play resumed, the DeChambeau-Koepka rivalry came roaring back to life. Social media became the primary battleground, with both players taking thinly veiled shots at each other through tweets and Instagram posts. Fans and fellow pros alike watched with a mixture of amusement and disbelief as the feud escalated. One of the most memorable moments came during a post-round interview with Koepka at the 2020 PGA Championship. As Koepka was answering questions, DeChambeau walked behind him, the sound of his metal spikes clicking on the pavement. Koepka's visible irritation and subsequent eye roll became instant meme material. Later, when asked about the incident, Koepka didn't mince words. "I lost my train of thought hearing that bullshit." This unfiltered response further fueled the narrative of their mutual dislike. The golf world was divided. Some traditionalists bemoaned the lack of decorum and sportsmanship, while others relished the drama and personality clash that was breathing new life into a sport often criticized for being too staid. Regardless of where one stood, it was clear that the DeChambeau-Koepka rivalry had become impossible to ignore. As their feud intensified, both players continued to achieve remarkable success on the course. DeChambeau's newfound power game culminated in a dominant victory at the 2020 US Open at Winged Foot, silencing critics who doubted the effectiveness of his scientific approach and physical transformation. Koepka, despite battling injuries, remained a force to be reckoned with, particularly in major championships. The rivalry took on a new dimension as fans began to take sides, Team Brooks and Team Bryson became common sights at tournaments, with spectators wearing t-shirts and holding signs in support of their chosen player. The PGA Tour, recognizing the unprecedented interest generated by this feud, began to lean into the drama, often pairing DeChambeau and Koepka together in featured groups at tournaments. Social media continued to play a crucial role in stoking the fire of their rivalry. Both players used platforms like Twitter to trade barbs and respond to each other's comments, often in real time during tournaments. This direct line of communication with fans and media added a new layer of intrigue to their feud, allowing it to play out in public in a way that golf had never seen before. In January 2021, during a Twitch stream, DeChambeau took a jab at Koepka's physique, commenting on Koepka's appearance in ESPN's Body Issue. In Koepka's Body Issue, he didn't have any abs. I can tell you that. I got some abs. Koepka's response was swift and pointed. He took to Twitter, posting a picture of his 4 major championship trophies with the caption, "You were right, at B_DeChambeau. I'm too short of a six-pack." The rivalry reached a new heights in 2021, when a leaked video from the PGA Championship showed Koepka visibly annoyed by DeChambeau's presence during an interview. The clip went viral, spawning countless memes and further cementing the narrative of their mutual disdain. The incident sparked a renewed wave of back and forth between the two, with fans eagerly following every development. As the 2021 season progressed, the feud began to have real-world implications beyond social media banter. Fans at tournaments began heckling DeChambeau, often shouting Brooksy at him during his shots.
All right, Brooksy!
This led to several confrontations between DeChambeau and spectators, raising questions about fan behavior and the potential negative impacts of the rivalry. The situation came to a head when the PGA Tour announced that it would begin removing fans who shouted Brooksy at DeChambeau. This decision sparked debate about free speech at golf events and the tour's role in managing player-fan interactions. Koepka, seizing the opportunity to further antagonize his rival, offered free beer to any fans who had been ejected for heckling DeChambeau. When asked about the tour's decision, Koepka didn't hold back. "If you say Brooksy, you're gonna get thrown out? I think that's fucking bullshit." As the golf world continued to buzz around their feud, both DeChambeau and Koepka found themselves in contention for spots on the US Ryder Cup team. The prospect of these two rivals being forced to work together as teammates added another layer of intrigue to their ongoing saga. Golf fans and pundits alike speculated about how their personal animosity might affect team dynamics in one of golf's most prestigious events. The rivalry took an unexpected turn when it was announced that DeChambeau and Koepka would face off in a made-for-TV match called The Match. This head-to-head contest, scheduled for November 2021, promised to bring their feud to a climax, allowing them to settle their differences on the course. The event generated immense buzz, with fans eager to see how the two would interact in a direct competition. As the match approached, both players began to show signs of softening their stance towards each other. In interviews leading up to the event, they spoke with a newfound respect for each other's games and accomplishments. DeChambeau, reflecting on their rivalry, said, "I think it's fun. There's a point where it's great banter. I personally love it." Koepka too acknowledged the positive impact of their feud, stating, "I think it's good for the game, I really do. The younger generation is looking at it. It's bringing new eyeballs." The match itself proved to be a turning point in their relationship. Over the course of 12 holes, DeChambeau and Koepka engaged in friendly banter, shared laughs, and displayed a level of camaraderie that surprised many observers. While the competitive fire still burned, it was clear that the intense animosity of the past was giving way to a more nuanced and respected rivalry. In the aftermath of The Match, both players spoke openly about their feud, acknowledging the role it had played in increasing golf's popularity and their own profiles. They admitted that while there had been genuine tension between them, some aspects of their rivalry had been amplified for the cameras and social media. DeChambeau reflected, "I never really thought we had a problem with each other. It was just a lot of external factors." Koepka echoed this sentiment, saying, "When we had that conversation we had, I think we both came to the conclusion that there was no real issue. It's just we're going to mess with each other and we know who it is." As the dust settled on their public reconciliation, the golf world was left to reflect on the impact of the DeChambeau-Koepka rivalry. Their feud had brought unprecedented attention to the sport, attracting new fans and generating countless headlines. It had challenged the traditional notions of golf etiquette and sportsmanship, forcing the game to confront questions about the role of personality and conflict in a sport long defined by decorum. Looking back, it's clear that the DeChambeau-Koepka rivalry was more than just a personal conflict between two golfers. It was a clash of ideologies, a battle between tradition and innovation, and a reflection of the changing face of professional sports in the social media age. DeChambeau's scientific approach and willingness to challenge conventional wisdom represented a new wave of thinking in golf, while Koepka's old-school mentality and major championship prowess embodied the sport's established order. Their feud also highlighted the power of personality in modern sports. In an era where athletes are more accessible than ever through social media, DeChambeau and Koepka showed how personal rivalries could captivate audiences and drive engagement. Their willingness to lean into their roles as antagonists demonstrated a savvy understanding of brand building and media manipulation that went beyond their considerable skills on the course. As we look to the future, the legacy of DeChambeau-Koepka rivalry will be felt for years to come. It has paved the way for more open expression of competition and personality in golf, potentially attracting a new generation of fans to the sport. The rivalry has also raised some questions about the balance between entertainment and sportsmanship, and the role of social media in shaping public perceptions of athletes. For Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka themselves, the rivalry represents a unique chapter in their careers. While both already accomplished golfers before their feud began, the intense scrutiny and public interest generated by their conflict elevated their profiles to new heights. As they move forward in their careers, they will forever be linked by this period of intense rivalry and subsequent reconciliation. In the end, the DeChambeau-Koepka saga serves as a testament to the unpredictable nature of sports and human relationships. What began as a clash of personalities evolved into a cultural phenomenon that transcended golf, only to ultimately lead to a newfound respect between two of the game's biggest stars. It's a story of rivalry, redemption, and the power of sport to both divide and unite. As we reflect on this remarkable chapter in golf history, we're left to wonder, in a sport where the next generation of stars is always on the horizon, will we ever see another rivalry quite like this one? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the impact of the DeChambeau-Koepka feud will be felt in the world of golf for years, serving as a reminder of the power of personality, the importance of rivalries, and the ever-evolving nature of professional sports in the 21st century.